Mangibulise bonke abantu abadala, bonke abantu abasha abanathi kulomzuzu lo. Listen, my Africans, I want to speak about this issue of documented and undocumented African foreigners who are living here in South Africa. It's so strange for me to call an African a foreigner in Africa. But anyways, I told you guys when the Chidima story started that this thing is going to escalate to a point where South Africans are going to say they're no longer just chasing away undocumented foreigners, but they will chase away also the documented foreigners who are working in South Africa. They're going to say, listen, even though you are documented, you are still occupying a job that a South African can occupy, so you must go also. I said that if some other African countries are going to feel like South Africa is not welcoming to its brothers and sisters, so they're going to start sending back South Africans who are working in other African countries. And we've got a lot in Mozambique, we've got a lot in Namibia and other African countries where South Africans have got occupations there and they're working there. Anyways, I want to touch on this undeserving premier of KwaZulu-Natal, or Mr. Thami Ntuli, the operation of which he's carrying out. You know, he's going to FMs and he's apparently they arrested one businessman for employing an undocumented foreigners. We need to talk about that. Also, you can't talk about Mabahambe without speaking about Gayton McKenzie. I want to cover some type of the comments that he has made in the past and remind you as to what Gayton said and how he is one of those people that sparked this thing of South Africans having some type of anger towards our African brothers and sisters, documented and undocumented. And also recently, Thabo Mbeki, the former president of South Africa, made some comments that we've got an economical problem, and that economical problem, we can't take it and put it on the shoulders of our African brothers and sisters. Come with a clear mind. Let's talk about this and much more. Welcome to King Said So, Africa's one land, one language, one currency, one army on King Said So. Africans can unite. Your Pan-Africanist podcast. Enjoy.
KwaZulu-Natal Premier Thami Ntuli has issued a stern warning to all illegal foreign nationals to leave the province. Ntuli says businesses who employ illegal foreigners will also face the might of the law. He led an operation at the KwaSithebe business hub in Mandeni, northern of KwaZulu-Natal. A strong message to those breaking the law. Ntuli says police will clamp down on all illegal activities. The police conducted an operation in these factories where some workers were found without proper documentation. A business owner was arrested for allegedly hiring illegal foreigners.
Undocumented foreign nationals angifuni ukuphinde ngwabone la ekhaya la kwamanye amafemi ngiyabuza ukuthi azongena ebusuku akithi amaphoyisa akhona azobuya nasebusuku nani ngizothumela ithimba akekho ozoxoxa futhi ukuthi ukhulumile uma kukhona ukuxoshile ngiyobeka nje amaphoyiseni abese ngithinta mina amaphoyisa ngiyabonga kakhulu.
Peace in Pan-Africanism to all my African brothers and sisters from all around the world. Welcome back to King Said So. I'm your host, Kagiso Tlongwane Zinjiva. And we're back at it again with another one. And this time around, I want to speak about our documented and undocumented African brothers who are in South Africa working here, legally so and some illegally so. Our African brothers who are doing fantastic things. Excuse me, here in South Africa, and those who are here committing crimes, causing that relationship, that love and hate relationship that South Africa has with the rest of the African continent. So the undeserving, I need to highlight this, the undeserving premier of KwaZulu-Natal is embarking on a mission where they are going into factories, buildings, hijacked buildings, and checking for undocumented foreigners and saying, listen, those who are not documented, go back home. I'm not against that. I agree with that. Our African brothers, if they want to come to South Africa, let them come here the legal ways. There is some things that I want to highlight that always white people are left out of this whole equation. So I want to show you guys just how white businesses will not be touched. Only those small, maybe Chinese business here, Pakistani business here, black businesses here and there. But the white businesses that employ the bulk of our African brothers and abuse them for cheap labor are never going to be touched. Let's listen to what the undeserving Premier Tamin Nduli said.
You have sent a stern warning to business owners to actually give opportunities to foreign nationals which are in this province illegally. What consequences are they likely to face?
Well, I think for today's operation, that was an example of what consequences each and everyone who committed this crime will face, because one of the owners of the factories here was arrested by the police for employing undocumented foreign nationals, because we were saying in KwaZulu-Natal, we are not against the foreign nationals, but we are saying they must be here legally. They must go back to their countries and get the documents if they want to be in the process of KwaZulu-Natal. And at the same time, we cannot sit back and watch businesses who are employing undocumented foreign nationals at the expense of the high rate of unemployment in the province, because so many people who are looking for jobs in the province are not employed because they're employing undocumented foreign nationals so that they pay them peanuts, they save and make a lot of profit. And then we are saying, as the government of KwaZulu-Natal, there is one area which is a no-go area, according to the government of KwaZulu-Natal. Hence, we are here with the police, we are here with the local leadership, with the mayor of the district and the local municipality, because from our departure here, they will continue with the operations as we move to other districts, but they will continue with the operations because we don't want this operation to be an event, but we want it to continue, reach all other factories that we pull in other businesses, roping in other stakeholders, important stakeholders.
And
now, it is all well. The question that we South Africans ask is that our African brothers and sisters have been working in these firms, factories for a long time. It is not difficult. If you want us to show you where they are working, we can show you. The police also know where these people are working. The police know where these people are staying. The police are simply not doing their job. And now, okay, they say they're going to continue with this operation for some months to come, probably up until December. It's okay, they can do that. And they say one business man has been arrested for employing illegal foreigners. Okay, I'm happy with that. Go to the farms, the white farms that employ and abuse our African brothers, and arrest the farm worker. I want to see something. Go and arrest the farm workers. Like I said, white businesses, they don't get affected by this. And they are employing illegal immigrants, especially the farmers. Remember, the agricultural sector injects a whole lot to the country's GDP. They are not going to touch them because of that. Because those farmers are not going to want to pay South Africans the proper rates that they deserve. They want to employ our Lesotho, Mozambican, and Zimbabwean brothers and abuse them in the farm. Now, listen, police, if you guys don't have the information, come, I will give you the information, especially here in Northern Cape, because I happen to have worked in the farms. I happen to have worked in one farm here in particular. I can take you there and show you guys that they are illegal, our African brothers who are working hard at that farms and are getting abused in those farms. But it's not going to be a revelation when I tell the police, because they already know. And most of you in your provinces, you know of a farm where our Zimbabwean, Lesotho, and Mozambican brothers are employed there. Malawian brothers are employed there, and they are working at the farm. And they're getting paid through an envelope. The police are ignoring that, as if they are saying to the farm workers, fix yourself first before we come to you. All the big major farms are employing our African brothers. Go to them, and when you go to them, don't just chase our brothers away. Arrest the farm workers also. Let the white people also feel the pinch. because it is the employers that make these people to come back. These people know when they come back and they go to this factory or to that farm, their job is secured because they work extremely hard. Talking about working extremely hard, somebody said that South Africans are lazy. Somebody said that. I remember. But we kept the fires. We kept the fires because they think we forgot. Because Abo Gate and Mackenzie, they are colored when they want and they are black when they want. That's the nice thing of having a black mother and a colored father. They can play the both races when they want, as they wish.
Everybody says speak truth to power. Everybody wants to tell the government what to do. But who tells us sometimes what to do? You look at our communities. You ask yourself, how did the Africans, the guys from Zimbabwe, the guys from the DRC, how do they make it here? Because they are an integral part of this economy. So much so that if all of them have to decide to leave on a particular hour and go back to the country, this country would not function. But the problem with us is that as black people, I'm talking about here, we are lazy. And people are scared to say that. I'm not scared to say black people are lazy. You know what? We do not want to do the things, we want to do the things that we studied for. We want to do the things that we have experience in. But
now, abogating is people that don't think before they speak. It's people that don't think before they speak. You can't tell a South African at a farm that he must work during the day, the whole day, and then also at night because there's a truck coming to deliver. He must wait for that truck so that he must deliver offload at 9. You can't. You can't. But because our Mozambican and our Zimbabwean brothers, they are staying at the farm. They are there to work throughout all of those extra hours just for a small incentive and sometimes no incentive whatsoever. So it is your Gayton Mackenzie that sings Mabahambe, who says these foreigners are doing well in our country because we South Africans are lazy. And I want to highlight that. And we must never forget people like our Gayton Mackenzie because they are flip-floppers. They are flip-floppers of note. He was singing, hey, you guys have forgotten the colored people. If we get into power, colored people in the Ministry of Sports, Art and Culture, colored people are going to come first. I'm going to bring back spinning. After he got that position, what did he do? What did he do? I've never heard Gayton Mackenzie speak about colors ever since he was a minister. It's like me crying, I want to fight for my African people. Africa, Africa, Africa. South Africans must come first. South Africa, when you give me a portfolio, then I keep quiet. Because now I've got the blue lights. You know, he says he's proud now that he's not getting stuck in traffic anymore. That's what the one thing that makes him proud. Can he be proud by lifting up colored people? Please? He can forget about the African people. Can he lift up colored people because now he's in a place of position and power? Can he be deliberate to lift and favor colored people? Because he was crying that colored people have been forgotten. But now he's in power and he's doing nothing about it. And he's the one that actually said this thing that I'm trying to push now, that South Africans are going to end up even chasing away documented foreigners. Documented. This is what Gayton Mackenzie said during one of their rallies when they were busy campaigning for the elections. Listen to this.
PA is not only saying, President, that illegal foreigners must go. We say no foreigner must have a job here, whether it's legal or whether it's illegal, while a South African can occupy that same job. PA is not only saying, President, that illegal foreigners must go. We say no foreigner must have a job here, whether it's legal or whether it's illegal, while a South African can occupy that same job.
I have no problem. My accountant is a Zimbabwean. Yes. He came here with papers. He came here legally. Yes. If you jump the fence, there's a difference between the guy that jumped the fence and the guy that came in legally. Yeah. I'm not saying foreign people. I've got businesses outside this country. Yes. That's not what I'm saying.
PA is not only saying, President, that illegal foreigners must go. We say no foreigner must have a job here, whether it's legal or whether it's illegal, while a South African can occupy that same job.
Always contradicting himself. Always contradicting himself. He said the PA is clear on this position. Not only undocumented, but also the documented foreigners, they must go. As long as no foreigner must occupy a job here in South Africa, if there was a South African who can occupy the same job, but then turn around and says, "Listen, I have a Zimbabwean accountant. I've got business out of South Africa." He doesn't say I've got business in Zimbabwe, because Gator McKenzie made the bulk of his money in Zimbabwe. So now he has changed his tune to say, no, those who are documented, and he flip-flops. You don't know. Next week, if you ask him the same question, he might say something different. But he clearly said, not only the undocumented, but the documented ones must go also. And the people were clapping hands. And I'm like, South Africans, do you know how many South Africans are overseas? Do you know how many South Africans are in Africa? Documented, legally, not committing any crime, working there. So you're saying all of those South Africans must come back? Are you going to give them a job when they come back? Do you guys understand what I'm saying? But anyways, I'm done with Gator, and I'll deal with him another day. Our former president, Thabo Mbeki, says, listen, I'm a former president. You cannot tell me that we have economical problems because of our African brothers. And it is very clear to me that we can't take all our problems and we leave those ones who colonize us. We leave those ones who have stolen our land. Leave those ones who have stolen our minerals and blame everything on our African brothers. Icon, guys. As again, man.
We've got many challenges of the economy here. Unemployment. Very serious problem. Economy is in crisis. I'm a former president of this country, and you'll never ever convince me that this economy is in crisis because of foreigners. It's not true. It's not true. It's because there's certain things that have happened with regard to the economy which have produced economic crisis, resulting, among other things, in unemployment. So we've got to solve this problem. We've got to deal with this economy and deal with these problems of unemployment. At the same time, the country has got laws about migration of people. Let's enforce the laws. You can't just come in illegally. Yeah. So the thing about the registration of people undocumented is correct. But I'm saying, like we have an economic crisis, it's incorrect to think that that economic crisis is caused by people who have come from the rest of the world. I'm hoping that, I'm coming back to the matter of the national dialogue, that this matter also becomes a matter of discussion. One of the things that happened, colleagues, very important in my view, is that the continent genuinely took it as one of its responsibility to help us to fight and defeat apartheid. Ordinary citizens would contribute monies to go into a common fund in order to support the struggle here in Namibia and Zimbabwe. That became a people's issue. Wherever you went around the continent, I've got Welly Lentlapo here, former ambassador. Wherever you went on the continent, 1980, 1985, the focus on South Africa among the ordinary people was very high. The consequence of it is that when South Africa becomes liberated, the same masses, they say, I'm going to South Africa. It's natural. They develop that kind of very fondness and closeness to this country. So we must go to this country. That's the challenge, the real challenge we face. It doesn't matter, I'm saying. It doesn't matter how many electrical fences you build. You are not going to stop these Africans coming here. So our challenge is to say, how do we deal with that reality? And then, my colleagues, you might also remember that a few years back, there were similar so-called xenophobic attacks in Durban. What the provincial government did there was to appoint a commission to go into that, which was chaired by Judge Navi Pillay. You'll find that report on the internet. And they deal with this question. They say the reality of the matter is, you've got many migrants coming from the continent and elsewhere who come here, and there's no way you're going to stop it. The issue is, how do we deal with these things who become new citizens of South Africa, new residents? We've got to find a way of dealing with it. And practical steps, I'm saying that Navi Pillay report is very important. It addresses this question. When we're new in government here, issue was raised about there are many Mozambicans who come across the border and get employed by the farmers in the then Eastern Transvaal, paid low wages, outcompete the South African farm workers and all that. Must deal with this matter. So we agreed, and then a big movement took place to deport these Mozambicans back to Mozambique. I think we continued that program for 2 months at best and stopped it. The reason we stopped it is because the following week after they've been deported, they are back in the country. Or you had Lindela, this place they call Lindela for people who are being deported. Come Christmas time, the Zimbabweans would go to Lindela to say, I'm illegal. So that the government must convey them at its cost, transform them back to Zimbabwe. 2 days after New Year, they are back. How do you deal with this situation? I'm saying that I'm hoping that in the national dialogue, there will be a discussion of this. Because certainly, I mean, as an African, I belong to this old tradition. As in our culture, you are never ever hostile to a stranger. A visitor, a visitor who comes and get the best food in the house. It's a frame of mind. I hope that the matter will get discussed and then resolved in that.
I was explaining something to someone. I said, listen, if KFC has got 10 workers, 5 of them are Zimbabwean and 5 of them are South African. If you say, okay, because when they work for KFC, they'll obviously be documented. If you say, no, the job that they are doing is not special. It's frying meat, taking orders and, delivery, whatever it is. We are chasing these 5 Zimbabweans away and injecting 5 South Africans so that 10 South Africans can work at KFC instead of 5 South Africans. The economy does not improve, guys. The economy did not produce a new job. Do you guys understand? Producing a new job is taking these 5 South Africans, putting them there, there's 10 South Africans, and then opening another KFC. That is job creation, not job replacement. So yes, someone is going to be employed. Yes, a South African instead of a Zimbabwean is going to be employed. But that does not mean the economy will improve. The same goes with crime. You understand? Our South African people are also committing crime. And South Africans don't like hearing this. We saw in recent time these guys that were running around hijacking people and clearly speaking in Xhosa. So it's one of ours who hijacked that car, that delivery car. You understand? I'm not saying Zimbabweans and Nigerians are not committing crime. They're committing crime. And the issue in South Africa is that we've got a policing issue. It is the border patrol people that are allowing some of these people in without documentations. It is the Home Affairs corrupt people that are giving these people documentations, black and white. It is the police that are working with these business people, giving them bribes. It is the police, again, that are releasing these people in the prisons. We've got a policing issue in South Africa. I'm here to agree. Everyone coming to South Africa, like you guys know, what I have suggested is the advanced integrated border system of Africa. It needs to be integrated. We need to integrate the Home Affairs, the police system, so that a fingerprint that is in Zimbabwe can also clock this side. So whoever comes to South Africa via the borders that we have, when he puts his fingerprint, we can know this is John from wherever, he's got a criminal record, and then we stop him from entering South Africa. But as long as our systems are not integrated, when he comes with a passport and he comes with his ID, he passes, and we don't know his criminal details when he comes in. You understand? Some are professionals, they are like teachers and nurses, but they've committed a crime in their country that we South Africans don't know about. But in the advanced integrated border system, we will know, because our Home Affairs and our correctional services and our police systems will be integrated, and that information will come out to say, no, this guy, yes, indeed, he's a doctor, but as a doctor, he once raped someone in Malawi. So you South Africans, you are taking him under the understanding that he committed a crime in Malawi. Then we can say, no, we can't give you a job here in South Africa. Do you guys understand the the advanced integrated border system of Africa? We need to integrate our information. I hope everyone understands what we are saying. When we say, because I told you, I taught this to the leadership of the EFF. I said, stop using the word open borders. Use the advanced integrated border system. Understand? The borders are still there, but the free flow of information, goods, and people it's easier in this advanced integrated border system. You understand? So a police in South Africa can go and arrest somebody in Zimbabwe. You can't run away. You can't do anything. We can go and fetch you wherever. Even now, we've got an issue of Bushiri is there in Malawi. But because our police can't arrest someone there, we need to ask for permission. We need to, bring him back here. But in the advanced integrated border system, our police will be able to go to Malawi, go into a church, take the man and bring him back here for trial. Simple as that. But you want to fix your own house first before you fix other people's. It's not going to help. But anyway, you tell me, what do you think? Should they go to the farms and go and arrest the farm workers? Because the farm workers is clear. Everybody knows. Me and you, we know. The police know. The president knows. Everybody knows that farm owners are employing illegal immigrants and abusing them. Illegal foreigners are abusing them. Who's going to do anything about that? Because it's white farmers, they're not going to do anything, according to me. I'm still waiting to see them going to a farm and arresting a farm worker. I'm waiting for that day. I'm waiting for that day. I'm really waiting for that day. But anyway, thank you so much. I just wanted to cover this for a minute. To my African brothers, come to South Africa legally. And also remember, if you are coming from Zimbabwe or wherever you are coming from, when you come, South Africans don't see you, they see your country. So you represent your country. So when you misbehave, South Africans don't say Love More is misbehaving. They say Zimbabweans are misbehaving. So behave yourself in South Africa. Carry yourself with dignity and Ubuntu. Like we all Africans have got the spirit of welcoming and enjoying and living with other people, respect for coexisting with other people. Stop giving South Africans that excuse of blaming things on the whole entire country because you are naughty. As my Nigerian brothers, don't get into things like drugs, human trafficking. Don't get into those things. You are painting Nigeria, but now there's this unnecessary fight of South Africa and Nigeria that I don't understand. It's unnecessary fight. We are not fighting the main things that we must fight now. You know, Akola, what is his name? Akoli, the richest man in Nigeria, has been overtaken by Johan Rupert. our white colonizer here in South Africa overtook oil tycoon that side, the oil giant in Namibia, to become the richest man in Africa on the 28th of August. So Johan Rupert is no longer the richest man in South Africa. He's the richest man in Africa. Those are the type of things that should make us worry, and we fight these type of things, or to fight to bring back Isoletu. But anyway, thank you so much, guys, for watching. I appreciate it. Until we meet next time, don't forget to pray. After you pray, stand up, African child. Do your best so that God can do that as peace in Pan-Africanism. I salute you.